The Niners didn't either, did they?
Don't need to.
I guess they didn't win.
They just need to learn how to win in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's fair.
They need some linemen, offensive linemen.
Curse of the Swifties.
He said something about it. You said something about your knees getting weak, and I wanted to say like Dak in the playoffs, but
There's something about Dak in them playoffs, man. Dak, and I always especially after I've been done, man, I root for Dak.
He's great.
I really do.
He's great.
He came out of my year. So I want to see Dak. Yeah, I want to see Dax win.
Yeah, he's good,
win.
man. He's a good dude too.
You played against him in college too, didn't you?
Yeah,
he went to Mississippi State.
Mississippi with them dang cowbells. I used to hate going to Mississippi, and they just ring them things. Like, please don't let these idiots score another point. Please, I want to hear these bells.
He was good in college.
Yeah, he was.
He's good in the pros. He just need to win.
You ask him, he's right behind Mahomes.
Did
he say that?
He did.
Or contract, he wants that.
No, I don't know.
Hey, get the money, man. I don't blame you. All right, how you boys doing?
Doing great.
We just took a little bit of a break, having a good time talking to Robert.
Yep.
Mr. Robert Thomas here with us today.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, of course. Having fun talking about things that we can't really imagine. So it's good. It's good for us. We can live through your stories, man. It's fun. But we thought maybe on this episode we get a little more intentional about. So like I think Anthony's probably filled you in on really kind of what we're about, and most importantly, we're fathers. That's why the name of our podcast, our Fatherhood Collective, and husbands and family men, and we want to do it in a certain manner. And that is with the grace of God, right? And to keep him at our true north as we move through life. And it's hard, and that's why it's fun to get together with guys like you and talk about that. So maybe we'll get into a little bit of that and a little bit of your story, and probably let Anthony handle most of that in this conversation, probably a little more comfortable. So, but yeah, we really appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's just get in. We've had a conversation before about, your father in your life and stuff, and the impact your mom has had and stuff like that. Do you mind just sharing a little bit with these guys and everybody, just the, kind of growing up, what it was like, just your father, right? I believe he was absent.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And then just the impact your mom kind of had in that. Because we already mentioned in the last episode, right? Your mom said, you better get your hiney back down that field. In a conversation, I know your mom is a amazing woman, obviously, just hearing the stories from her. So just maybe share some of that with everybody.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, my mom, she had me young. She had me at 16. And when she had me, man, I spent a lot of time at my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
So typical story, man. Dad not around, but I really didn't never have like any worry about that because I had my grandfather.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So my grandfather was always like my dad. You know what I mean? Like still to this day I call him dad. You know what I mean? Like that's my father. But man, having a younger mother, I feel like was a plus just because like she was one of those moms that was always hands on for me. Like she was big on like, I'm not just gonna tell you to do something, I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a parent now, that's one thing that I really take from her too is just understanding like how big of a difference it makes when you can show your child instead of like just talking his ear off all the time,
Yeah.
And man, she's a really strong lady, man, really, really strong. She really didn't play too much games. Like she didn't allow a lot of games being played. She definitely knew. She growing up, like I guess, like in that southern type of like household, like faith, like our faith was always really strong.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of the reason why I felt that way about me playing in the league was my mother used to always like prophesize that over me.
Yeah.
Like from a young age, like she used to always tell me like, "Hey, baby, hey, I can feel it." Like she would pray over me. And just to understand, like I always had like a big faith on like understanding like where my blessings come from, where everything, like I knew where to call on. You know what I mean? And that really comes like that stemmed from my papa too.
Yep.
Man, they like amazing family, man, amazing bunch. So I thank God for them.
Yeah,
man,
for sure.
man, it definitely
It's awesome.
a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in a church? Did you go there in Muskogee? Okay.
Yeah, I did. Old Agency Baptist Church.
Okay.
I mean, from the time that I was, man, shoot.
Okay. Yeah.
From the time that I was maybe, I can't even tell you how far back, man. But until I moved out here, So I mean, that's always been home for me.
Your mom always made you make sure you were in church.
Oh yeah, I'm in church. I'm singing in the choir. I got it all. You know what I mean? I do the ushering. Like, oh man, like mama didn't play no games.
Yeah.
Spit that gum out in this church.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. That's good.
That's good.
So you have two awesome boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So growing up without your actual dad, how has that changed your viewpoint of now you're a dad, right?
Yeah.
So what are you making sure that you're for sure like, hey, this is super important to me. Like I missed out on this because my dad wasn't around, and I want to make sure I get this right with my boys.
I feel like just really understanding like your impact of what you are as a father. Like you're your kids. You're typically your kids' first like superhero. Like you're the guy who can do it all. Like having my grandfather, like I watched him work his hands to the bone.
Yep.
And like when I grew up, I knew like I was like, man, I'm gonna be a guy just like that. I want to be a hard work. Like I thought like he was the most amazing person I've ever like known, you know what I mean? So I try to really make sure that like I understand like what I bring to my boys. Like I want them to know that like, hey man, like daddy's he's not perfect. I'm gonna make mistakes. So I understand about the same thing for like y'all guys. Like y'all gonna make a lot of mistakes growing up. You're gonna make them. But I really press like understanding like, hey man, I'm here for you. Yeah. Like no matter what you're going through, man, hey, daddy's here.
That's important. That's good.
Daddy's here.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's real good.
You guys got anything for him on?
No, I mean I love it. I think we know we've talked a lot about how man, they pick up our habits, good and bad, right?
1,000%.
And so
always watching.
Yeah, always watching. And so like it kind of weighs on you, especially
it does.
We all go through those kind of dips in periods of time where we're maybe not living exactly like we should. And man, with the kiddos around, you're really like, wow, God, I gotta watch that, right?
Sure.
I gotta watch that. And then just being there for your kids, man, that's that is ultimately what God is for us. Like you can't outrun His love, and we talk about that with our kids a lot.
1,000%.
It's good.
1,000%.
What do you think's been the hardest thing for you to being a dad?
I really think my heart understanding like patience. Just I feel like I'm so like wired like through my job, through like just like everything I've done in life, that like things have to be like right. Stuff has to be this way. It has, and just to kind of understand now more, it's like everyone has their own timing. God gives everyone their own timing, and it might not be on the time that like I want. It might not be at the time that like Aunt wants, but at that time it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know. So I'm getting to see that, especially a lot with my oldest, just because me being absent, like not being able. Well, I don't want to say absent, but me playing ball. I'm not at home as much. I'm not. It really shows me a difference from him and my baby boy now. You know what I mean? And it makes me press even harder with him because I feel like, hey baby, I wasn't there as much, but I'm here now. You know what I mean?
Making up some ground.
For sure. So I really think just. And I feel like, man, like these are such a like, this is a touching thing for me because like, man, I love my kids.
Of course.
I love my boys. You know what I mean? And I mean, like every father, man, you want to see the best out of your boys. Like to the point, like I pray for it daily. I pray like anytime. It's crazy how much like my prayer has changed to like now, like I barely like I might say at the end, like, oh yeah, Lord, and protect my, you know what I'm saying? Me my feet down. You know what I mean? But my whole prayer is like, Raylan. Lil, Kayla, you know what I mean? And it's I just love where I'm at in life right now.
It's good.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
I'm really loving it.
Yep.
How old are your boys?
I have one is 9 and I have one is 1. He's going on 11 though. He thinks he's the man of the house.
The 1-year-old's going on 11.
Oh, my
I got
goodness.
you.
He's a cutie too, man.
Go ahead.
He rules the roost out there in the ball fields, man.
Man, he rules.
He drags his mom around.
Anywhere
he's in charge.
Yeah, he is. Yes,
I love
he
it.
is.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, you said patience too. I would say that's probably one of the hardest things I've learned too is patience with our kids and kind of like self-control, right? It's easy to like blow up on your kids. And then one of the hardest things I felt like it used to be, not now because I feel like I've done enough, is like apologize to your kids.
Right.
You know, when you screw up. Hey, buddy, I'm sorry. You know, I acted out. That's self-control on my end, right? I did that wrong. And I think that can be difficult for a lot of grown adults to apologize to kids, right? But I feel like we definitely need to show that more because we need grace too. We're wrong. 1,000%. We mess up all the time, just like they do. So I think that is a hard thing. Maybe talk about your faith some. I know that you said when we talked earlier, you know, you were always been rooted in God, but maybe kind of stepped away a little bit, fell away. And I know we haven't talked about it. These guys know, but with my faith too, just so you know on mine, I didn't grow up in church and stuff like that. When I was a kid, I went to church for just a couple years, not with my parents. I never went to church with my parents, just with a friend. And I kind of fell away. My parents got divorced at an early age, and probably after 5th grade, I didn't go to church till actually about 5 years ago.
I hear you. Okay.
So that was about 32 years, something like that. 2019, however old I was, and then the first time I actually went back to church. So I'm fairly new actually in like my faith journey compared to a lot of, especially these guys, you in particular, you. So you know, I know the importance of. I kind of had an idea of like who Jesus was, but not really like who he actually is, if that makes sense.
I know what you mean. I know exactly.
You know, never read the Bible until, you know, probably 2020 actually, maybe the end of 2019, something like that. So that's kind of my quick and dirty little faith story where I haven't been in that way, and I've now it's taken me a long time to realize, you know, the importance of God and His Word and the impact on your life, and how better my life would have been if I had known His Word
1,000%.
when I was younger. So maybe share a little bit about your faith story where, you know, maybe you kind of, I don't know if I want to stepped away or kind of backed off maybe a little bit, and then what realized you to, how did He grab back a hold of you?
Yeah. Man, I feel like through my NFL journey, I feel like I was at my pinnacle, you know, and I feel like a lot of people, and I don't want to use that as like an excuse or anything, but I feel like it's easy to kind of get complacent, to kind of get like to the point, okay, I don't need you as much. You know what I mean? To the point that like, man, like my prayer life was up in, you know what I'm saying, up in the air. Like life not going exactly how I want it. So I'm questioning, I'm doubting everything now. You know, this is one of my first like true like man, like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like this is one of my like that was my only time in life that like I really questioned, like, hey God, like, man, is this what His plan was, or is this something that I thought in my head or something? Like it got to like that deep for me. And I remember I went home for off season, and my mom was talking to me, and she just said, she told me, I could see it in your face, baby, that like it's a lot on your head. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you need to go. Hey man, you need to pay that off. And like I was just such in a bad place. I'm like, man, I don't want to hear that now, bro. You know what I mean? And after she got through having a talk with me, because I felt like I know I definitely like I rubbed her wrong there, and after she let me have it, man. Everything that God done brought you through, and she just kind of like started just ripping, and it's just I'm listening, I'm hearing it, and it's like, you're not doing anything better right now for me. Like it's making me even, and I felt like I had a moment, man, that I'm driving back. I I was going back to the airport to go check in for our I guess what they call them, like camp.
Yeah.
And I never forget, I was on the plane and I just started praying. And it was so crazy because I wasn't praying like, don't get me wrong, I was praying, but it wasn't to the point that like I was used to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And
like maybe not as intentional.
Nowhere near as intentional.
Yep.
It was definitely very scripted, very just like blasé. You know what I mean? Like your everyday, like, hey Lord, protect my kids, protect my wife, protect me, just nothing from my heart. You know what I mean? It was like more of a routine for me. You know what I mean? And I got on that plane, man. I started praying, and I never forget, man. I got to crying, and I tried to clean my face up because I seen my wife was asleep. I thought she was at least, but then like you know how like you can feel when somebody's staring at you, and like my eyes was closed, man. And I look over and she kind of turned her head. You know what I mean? And I just promised him that day, man. I was like, Lord, I know I strayed away. I know where I'm at right now, Lord, but I need you more than I ever have, Lord. You know what I mean? Not just really submitting, And I feel like from that day on, it made me even like a better father. It made me a better husband.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like before that, nothing else mattered to me but football. Like, and I don't want to say like my family didn't matter. Like I'm not, but like football, family, God.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew like those were some of my hardest battles because I knew I wasn't spiritually aligned.
Yeah.
And I felt like that year, man, I came back, man. It was probably my strongest year ever, man. And it was just, and I know it sounds so cliche. I know it sounds like everybody, oh man, but nah, man. I know God is real. You know what I'm saying? I know, like my children know that God is real. My baby boy, like I'm talking about, like geez, like, and it's one of those things that like I want them to like experience and have their own feeling, not just because I'm telling you this, baby. Like, no.
Yep.
Like, you gonna have to search yourself, baby. Like,
for sure.
It's a true feeling.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And just to see where my family is, where my children's mind state is, my wife's mind state, man, I'm so blessed.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Could I ask you, what is hard about being a Christian and playing in the NFL? Is it hard?
I don't want. I feel like the higher of a success you are, the less God is there.
Okay.
I feel like it's not just like for the players, but like I mean, it's not just like your own battle, but like it's like over the whole NFL. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
that makes sense.
Man, I feel like, man, like kind of how like you're not allowed to really talk about your spiritual.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like amongst like the stadium, like you really can't talk. Like you're not supposed to talk.
Yeah.
Religion, politics, like that stuff that kind of got to stay out. And just to kind of see how like. I'm trying to use my words right because I don't want to kick because I'm not saying like it's a bad place, but it's just a place that's
a challenge. Man,
right?
I would say even in my workplace, it's not really something we can do openly, right? I know Lucas has talked about that in
public schools.
Yeah, public schools, you can't do it.
Right.
So I mean, it makes sense to me. I understand. The difference though is. You're kind of living. It's not quite like our workplace where we get to go home. We go. You're playing on Sundays. You're with them all the time. You're working out. You're doing the thing. So like that is interesting. I was just curious. I know it's got to make it tough. I think
it definitely does. I mean, plus like all the things around you, man.
Yeah.
There's so much. Like it's crazy that like like sitting back now and just checking everything out like through my own like head and my own lenses, like just how much demonic
temptations,
man, that's just like surrounding like that area. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And at the time, you're so lost in it that like you don't even see it.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
interesting.
I mean? You don't see it until like I feel like you get older. You're starting to kind of open your eyes to like everything. It's like, man, bro, like I was living like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's such an easy trap. Like you see kid after kid, they come out. Man, you give a kid more money than they ever seen in their life.
Yeah.
And you put them in some of the most sought after cities in the country. You know what I mean? And
they're not prepared for it.
You're not prepared for this. You're not prepared. You're not prepared.
And I don't know how you can prepare somebody when you're going to give them a check for $30 million.
What do you tell a kid who you just gave a check for $30 million? He does what he wants at this point. You know what I mean? And it's so many leeches, so many people just like that's just surrounded, man. And it's like never typically good parties. Yeah. You know what I mean? I hate to say it like that, but I mean, I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I appreciate that. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. You think it helped that you were married?
I think that definitely helped. I think that, I mean, just, and you know, and.
Well, it sounds committed too. It's not like you were just married. I mean, you.
No.
Like
because
legitimately
committed. Man, you see so many guys like that, I mean, are married to. It used to get me that like it was like my second year, and they used to call me old school because like they'll say like, man, Rob, he's an old man in here, bro. He don't want to go nowhere. He don't like to do nothing. And it's like because like I mean, you would go out and you would see like, man, bro, I don't really want to be a part of this, bro. Like I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to move like that. You know what I mean? And it's to the point like almost if you don't, bro, like man, you kind of shun.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Understand. Yeah.
So like I feel like you got to find real quick like who you are.
Yep.
Whose you are. You know what I mean?
No, that's good.
Like fast.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I hear baseball's way worse because they're on the road.
Yeah.
You know what? 82 road games or whatever. So it's just like it's supposed to be worse. Yeah. But I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
I obviously can't imagine.
I've heard from all the temptations and challenges that comes with being a pro athlete. You know, there's a lot, as you know.
For sure.
Well, and kind of you mentioned that, which you know, as that maybe fame ability grows, it just probably gets harder and harder and harder and harder. Right? Yeah.
1,000%.
Interesting.
So it's I mean, just staying grounded, understanding faith.
Yep.
Understanding where you come from.
Yeah.
And never lose that.
Some accountability from that.
1,000%.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep. That's good advice.
Be afraid your mama show up.
Man, listen. Because she will snatch me by my ear.
Yeah.
What's your mama's name?
Rosalind Thomas.
Rosalind Thomas. I had talked to Robert one time, and we were talking about, hey, what's it like being in an NFL stadium, all the noise. He said, man, it's loud, but you know what? I still hear my mama's voice out of all them people right there, didn't you?
You better get them. Like I can hear you better get them.
Now, did your mom travel like with college and most of it?
Oh my! Every college game,
that's awesome.
My mother, my grandparents.
Oh, that's great, man.
That's awesome.
My whole family would like.
That's
travel.
cool.
I'll never forget, man. I got them tickets for the Dallas game, and growing up, pretty much your whole family are Dallas fans.
I like them.
So like they're coming, they're coming to see me, but
also to see Dallas.
Did they wear Dallas jerseys? Were they in Dallas?
No. That's what
that'd be bad. That'd be bad. That'd be bad.
Give me my ticket back if you come out with a Dallas jersey. I promise you. I'll rip your ticket.
And you missed out on all the NIL stuff too.
Oh my goodness.
Just think about that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Back in my days, you couldn't even have a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And now these kids are owning
millions, man.
Owning businesses now, bro.
Like everybody on the roster is getting something.
Yep.
You know, the third string kicker's getting a brand new car.
You can't compete. If you don't do it, they can't compete.
Yeah.
You can't compete.
It's messing it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, and that's another thing, man. I just see like, man, like you can. I feel like they try to like it's almost setting up kids for their own.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And
it's demise. Yeah,
1,000%. And it's sad to see because now, like, I mean, imagine now, like, it's hard for a 22-year-old kid, 23-year-old kid to come out there, but now you're getting that at 18,
17. Yeah, God,
17. Like, imagine a 17-year-old kid and you live in Atlanta and you're making $300K, like, with no bills, no nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of dough.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of distractions.
Yeah, a lot of temptations. A lot of temptations.
A lot of distractions.
Yep.
Do you think about your sons going down that path? I mean, let's just genetic speaking, right? Like my dad didn't play pro sports. Probably chances I'm not playing pro sports.
Yeah. My oldest, man, I feel like man, and he loves football. Like he's okay. I mean, it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh because like I listen to him talk and he sounds so much how I did.
Okay.
So it's one of them things like, hey Lord, I hear you moving. I can hear you. I can hear you. I can feel it. You know what I mean? And it's one of them things, man. That's why I try, like, we're a family that we don't do a lot of like sugarcoating. Like,
yeah, sure.
Like I talk to my kids like men. Like I want them to understand. I want them to know what's going on. I want them to know how I feel. I want them to know, you know what I mean? I really try to press, like, I feel like the biggest thing with children is understanding. Like they have to have understandings. If not, bro, like you're failing them. You know what I mean? So
that's good.
I try to explain to them like everything that comes with that league as well, you know what I mean? And to like to an extent. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I try to explain to him there's good and there's bad to it. You know what I'm saying? You remain you. Even if you do have a chance, even if you don't.
Yep.
Stay grounded in you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's good.
Yep.
No, that's interesting. Ooh. Things I'm not going to have to worry about with my kids. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yours is in honor classes and
yeah. It's not. He's not an athlete. Then the girls probably won't.
We're just trying to get through the 3rd and 4th grade in my house.
Yeah. Learning to drive over here, man.
Oh, that's scary. That's scary.
That's good.
Yeah. Got anything else, Robert?
Do I? I mean, I really appreciate it. I think it's his great conversation, man. I think you probably got a great voice and a great influence, you know. And so, man, I appreciate you coming on here.
I appreciate you having me. I really do.
Yeah.
First timer, man.
First time. I find that interesting, but thinking back, man, podcasts haven't been that big a deal for a while, but
podcast was one of those things too that they kind of coach you to kind of
stay away from. You get trapped in.
And it can get sticky quick on you. You
sure,
know what I mean?
sure. Yeah. No, I understand. Well, hopefully we didn't do that.
Oh no, man. No, man. This is dope. This is dope. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. I think it's great. And like I said, I know Anthony's got some words for you, but yeah, man, I say just encouragement that he's about to share with you. But yeah, man, use that ability and the influence and the voice. Man, we are a culture that is enamored with the abilities that we don't have. And so when we get to talk to people that played in the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball, which is something we all enjoy, or you meet somebody that's a great speaker or can sing or, artist, man, there's an influence there. And so just encouragement there to use that, man. I think it's great.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Now, as I wrap this up, thanks again, Robert. Love the word, man.
You, bro. Appreciate you.
Love the word. But I wanted to final word for Robert and then everybody else is people don't see the Robert on the field, and I know it's the same with all the other sports that Ray's in, but Robert encourages people more than you guys can imagine. He's these boys' biggest fan. I mean, you always hear him no matter what happens, good, bad, ugly. Robert is always there. It makes me think of like Proverbs, like, honey, a good word is like, honey, sweet to the soul and things like that. And I just, I thank you for, Meyer, the love and the encouragement to him, to all the boys. They all say, Coach Rob, man, he is the man. He's the best because, right, he gives that good word always. He's always there to encourage. And my phone went out here. So my verse for this session here is Ephesians 4:29. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. And my encouragement for us, for everybody out there, is not just like, encouraging the boys like on the field and your kids and the girls on the soccer field, but let's be encouragers to all those, right? Adults, let's speak grace, let's speak love, let's speak building up encouragement to all people, even when they don't deserve it, because you'd never know when somebody might need that, sweet honey to the soul that a good word can bring.
Yep.
So that's what I got.
That's good stuff.
I like that. Yes,
positivity is a big deal, man.
Yep.
Big deal. So, and when it's grounded in the Word of God, poof, it doesn't get much better.
Yep.
All right, Lucas,
I'm
you
good.
Anthony,
Good.
Robert,
I'm good.
all right, man. We really appreciate you being here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Adios.
for having us. Peace.
Yeah.